Then, 10 years later, it's been a decade since Hurricane Mitch hit Honduras, and now the country finds itself back in the eye of a storm. Now, your stories, your struggles, your successes. This is Focus on South.
We're no stranger to devastating storms. I'm sure many of you know that. And many of our neighbors in the Caribbean and Central America have also found themselves in the eye of a hurricane. Now, 10 years ago, Hurricane Mitch, one of the most powerful and fastest storms to churn through the Atlantic, hit the country of Honduras head on. Now, despite the passing of a decade, Honduras is still recovering from that storm, and the country has now found itself in the eye of another. The flooding so bad there, the government recently postponed their presidential election. And here to show us what it's like and how we can make a difference is César Núñez from Angels Helping Angels. Welcome, César.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let's talk about the flooding because, of course, we're talking about 10 years ago as far as Hurricane Mitch and how Honduras is still trying to rebuild from that. But the flooding, they're dealing with flooding from what, recent storms?
The problem is many of the poor people live by the river.
Okay.
And basically, when it rains, I mean, basically the capital, Tegucigalpa, is in a valley. So every time it rains, all the river get flooded. The normal side of the river is like the side of this table. But when it rained, it become almost like 7 blocks wide. So when the hurricane hits, that's exactly what happened. And most of the poor people live right next to the river.
Goodness, and I'm seeing some video right now. This is just some of the flooding here in Honduras.
That's exactly what happened. Basically, the water rushed in the city, and a lot of people, they had to run for their life. A lot of the problem was the landslide. A lot of people live right next to the mountains, and most of the mountain, because of a lot of water, they went down.
Wow. And what's being done? I mean, of course, you're part of an organization, Angels Helping Angels. So I'm sure you're trying to do your part. You can, but you're a native of Honduras.
Yes.
But what's being done to try to prevent something like this from happening in the future and just to help the people recover right now?
The government is doing a lot, but the reality is that Honduras is Honduras is almost like 7 million people living over there, and 80% of those people are poor. 3.5% are children. From that amount, almost 2 million children are basically in really bad poverty. The reality is when Hurricane Mitch struck Honduras, it took the country almost 30 years back. Wow. So now Honduras was becoming again, to try to recover from that, and suddenly now got hit by another storm, storm number 16 or 17. Actually, there were two.
Exactly. Yeah, two storms.
Two storms.
And it's unfortunate, but every hurricane season, just like South Florida, Honduras has to face a possible hurricane.
Look, when I used to work in news, I covered so many different hurricanes. And the reality is that Miami, we got struck by Hurricane Andrew. I covered Hurricane Andrew. And I just want you to imagine a lot of people here got so desperate because they didn't have nothing. Finally, we got help from our government. Over there is different. Over there, sometimes even the government is trying so hard, but there are too many people. Each house, sometimes they have like 10 kids. And just do the math. It's a lot of kids.
Well, just as César just said, now he of course worked in the business, and you actually won an Emmy, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a clip from César's Emmy award-winning piece on the devastation Hurricane Mitch left in Honduras.
I'm César Núñez. I'm a photographer for CBS4 News. I have covered many strong hurricanes in the past, but I have never ever seen so much destruction as what Hurricane Mitch caused to my native country, Honduras.
At the beginning of November 1998, a huge and strong hurricane approached Central America, and it started raining. Too much rain over paradise. At the beginning of November 1998, a strong hurricane approached Central America.
My first thought was about my family. I didn't know if they survived. Thank God they were okay. Mitch brought darkness to Honduras, and many people were not prepared. It was a hard scene. People crying for the lost ones, and children begging for food. touched me the most was to see so many children that lost the entire family, orphans now, that had no clue where to go or what to do next. Hurricane Mitch brought to this country a lot of destruction, hunger, and suffering, but two things that couldn't be taken away was faith and a smile in every child.
Cesar, it's still pretty hard to watch that, even today. You say it brought tears to your eyes just watching that, shooting it at the time, because this is your native homeland, and you're seeing the devastation, the kids, and everything else. Is it still reminiscent of that right now going on in Honduras? I mean, is that, please say that it's a little better now, even though they're dealing with the flooding now.
They were recuperating until the storm hit Honduras again. Right now, the north side of Honduras is going through a really bad time. There's a lot of flooding. Almost 200,000 people are without homes. The reality is that this kind of problem is happening everywhere. It just happened in Cuba, it's happening in Haiti, you know, and now Honduras got hit by this big storm. And it is really sad. The reality is that many kids over there, they don't have a way to survive. So most of the time, basically what they do, they go to the garbage to find food or to find clothes or try to live.
And that's what they're doing right now, going to the garbage to go look for food, look for clothes, anything right now, just going to the garbage.
Basically, we don't have a way to process like a recycle thing over there. So many right now, they're trying to find, like most of those kids, they go over there with their families and try to find anything related to plastic or papers, anything they can grab from there and try to sell it.
Yeah, to make some type of money.
Yes.
Make some type of money. And also, Cesar, we have to wrap it up here, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know how they can help.
Okay, basically, I formed this foundation. It's called Angels Helping Angels, and everybody can go to angelshelpingangels.com. Okay. And basically, the number is 305-205-4584.
And we will also have a link set up on our website at cbs4.com/focus for all of you wanting to help out Angels Helping Angels program. Cesar, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you. We wish you the best.